Sometimes we have a propensity to learn and not.
Something happens, you can capture it, put it in your phone, and then you can things to do out of all of it.
Have a vision.
All right, welcome back. You're with HowToWritePro.com live podcast. Welcome. This is the first podcast, so I'm just doing this as a test. I don't know the regular time that I'm going to do this. I don't know how often I'm going to do it. I don't even know what every single topic is going to be about, but it's obviously going to be about valuable information that's going to help you write better, sell more, brand more effectively, and do a lot more with your business and your brand online using these powerful platforms that we have with social media, with email marketing, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of these great things that we have nowadays. So let me just talk a little bit about, just so you have a little bit of an understanding of what HowToWritePro.com is all about, and just to get a little idea of my background and why I started HowToWritePro.com. Well, first of all, I've been writing for a very, very long time. I've always been a writer. Chiago, what's going on, Chiago? Doing a live podcast. Welcome. Any questions you have about email marketing, type them in, and I will answer the questions. All right. So basically, I've been doing writing for a long time, and over the years, I think it was around 2004 or 5 when I wrote my first book. I really found the necessity to use the social media and the Web 2.0. So I was really just heavy on that. I remember the first time I saw a blog. I didn't even understand why this guy was writing his whole life online and posting it up. So I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy, but it showed me a lot of things that you can do with the internet, the power that you have with basically being able to publicize yourself and broadcast everything. So during that journey, I had to market our book, and at that time, Web 2.0 was really taking off a lot. So we got, the blog, we had, of course, we had MySpace, we had, various different social network sites that were popping up at the same time. Google and Yahoo and everything were popping up. So it was a very interesting time. And during that time, I just basically infused my writing into the technology world. Okay, so I had written a book that was just pure pen to the paper, to the notepad. That was just pure thoughts, putting thoughts together and putting it on pen and paper and then typing it out and then publishing it. That's one form of writing. But then when I realized that, writing blogs and everything in the technology, I realized that this would be something that would forever be a part of my life, meaning that I would have to fuse writing with technology, especially to market things and to touch audiences and get my message across. So that foundation is what really has built all of the skills that I'm going to share with you with HowToWritePro.com. And I use the words proactive, productive, and profit more because that's really what I want people to gain out of HowToWritePro.com. I'm primarily focusing on email marketing, copywriting, branding, and storytelling, and using email marketing as a delivery method to help you sell whatever it is you're trying to sell online. And that's something I've been doing with freelance writing. And the thing is this is what allows you to leverage yourself and leverage your message. And I call it a winning formula, right? Because if you're able to brand your message and you're able to create an identity around your message, you're able to make it compelling with the type of writing that's going to capture people's audiences and really just give you everything that you need in terms of connecting with that audience. And then you're able to deliver it with automation, email marketing. You're going to have leverage. You're going to have more time. You're going to be able to profit more. So what I like to help people do is focus on, increasing the deliverability, increasing the amount of sellability of the items that you have, whether it's products or services, being able to write the correct words that actually create interest or emotion in your audience, having the right calls to action, subject lines, formatting, and the right tone and style to deliver to your audience. And all these things help you build value. And without value, then people aren't going to buy what you have, right? So that's a very important thing. So as an entrepreneur, a business owner, an internet marketer, your success relies heavily on your ability to communicate this value. And, you have to generate leads. You have to grow these email lists with subscribers. You have to launch campaigns. You have to build sequences of funnels that help you drive certain prospects towards certain products or services. And all this increases your revenue with email. So for me, this has been a process of consistent testing and learning. I used it for a large part in my process as a personal trainer in the fitness industry for about 10 years. And I was always marketing and writing my own content. I was always blogging, setting up my own email autoresponders. I was always following up with clientele. And I know how it is as a small business owner or an entrepreneur when you're trying to do your service or your skill or whatever it is that you do, but you also have to send emails. You also have to create messages. You also have to follow up with people. So what I'm going to talk with you about today is a little bit just about an overview. I've created an email course, and if you haven't signed up for that yet, just follow the link below. I'm going to post this on YouTube, and it's basically under the tab on my website, email course, very easy to find. And basically this email course is 10 steps. It's 10 steps on how you can really launch a wildly successful email campaign, something that's profitable, something that you have some kind of reliable certainty in that it can produce for you. And the reason why you'll be able to do that is because I laid it out in a way that it checks all of the areas that most people mess up when you're trying to do email campaigns. The biggest problem with email is that it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's really easy to set up, but it's also really easy to mess up, and it's easy to have snags and mistakes in it. Okay, so you can have an automated email responder from MailChimp or Aweber or SendLane or GetResponse or Infusionsoft or whatever the software that you want to choose is. But if you're not checking off certain things, you're not checking to make sure that everything is on point, you've dotted your I's and crossed your T's, then that email campaign can suffer, and it can suffer big time. It can suffer by not being delivered. It can be suffered by ending up in just a spam box. It can be that you try to send the email, but it doesn't even connect. Even if the people are opening it, it has no resonance, and people just toss it out or just delete it immediately. So how do we prevent that? Well, I've got 10 steps here I'm going to go through with you. And just to give you an idea of what I do to make sure that my emails get delivered, that everything checks off, and that the messages that I want to convey are actually getting to where they need to be. So the first thing you want to do is number one, you want to define your primary objectives with total clarity. The second thing you want to do is research your target audience, okay? The third thing is how to decide on your brand narrative and story, on a brand image. You want to create some identity. The fourth lesson is how to design content in your emails effectively. And lesson 5 is how to set up your email service provider, which is incredibly important. Lesson 6 is how to write the rough drafts of your emails and set all that up. How to configure, install, and design your emails in your email service provider. Lesson 8 is how to do quality testing for subject lines, spam, and errors. And lesson 9 is how to properly activate your campaigns and follow-up series. And lesson 10 is how to monitor and track and adjust to optimize profits. So I'm going to cover all of these topics right now. I'll try to be a minute or two on each one because we don't have that much time. I want to keep this first one here, under about 20 minutes or 30 minutes. But I'm going to just give you some details, and make sure that if you haven't already, you go ahead and sign up for the email course, because in the email course, I'm going to send you the detailed lessons of each of these topics that I'm covering here in the podcast. So right now, this is an introductory podcast. I just want to give you a brief overview, but the value is in the email course. It's going to be incredible. You get an attached PDF in the email course that's going to have all the checklists for each lesson. So it's going to be very helpful for you, and any questions that you have, I'll be able to answer for you. All right, so lesson number 1. Basically, this is a problem that people have when they are unable to define the objectives of why are you setting up this email campaign. Are you setting up this email campaign because you just think that it's good to have an email campaign and it just should be part of your business, but you're not really going to define any specific goals or any specific objectives with it? That is a huge mistake, because that's one of the things that can go wrong with email incredibly fast, is because you're not targeting specifically what you want out of these emails. Do you want to have more sales? Do you want to have people sign up to a newsletter? Do you want to have people come to an event? Are you trying to promote a specific product that's different or new? And if you do, you have an objective, it's going to make it a lot easier to write the emails. Secondly, if you hire somebody like me to write the emails, you can clearly tell me, hey, Bayo, what I want to do is I want to drive traffic to this opt-in campaign, and I want people to basically buy these affiliate products that I have. Great, then I can help you do that. But if you say, hey, Bayo, I just want these emails to follow up with people that I have that are following me on social media, I have no idea what that is or how to help, okay? And that's the same for you. You want to know exactly what it is you're targeting. Number 2, how do you research and target your audience? How do you make sure that people are able to basically receive your email with some kind of relevance? You know, you want to have some kind of audience that is targeted, so that when you're communicating with them, they feel like, wow, this information is only for me. And ideally, even if it's one type of person from that audience, they're saying, hey, this stuff is for me. I like this. I need this information. Whether that's fitness or whether that's health and nutrition, it could be sports, it could be mortgages and real estate, it could be all kinds of communication or life coaching. Regardless of what it is, if people want it and you know where those people are, then you can target them and send that. So I'm going to go into detail on how you can research that target audience, whether it's Facebook Insights, Audience Insights, whether it's using Amazon, whether it's doing all the things that you need to do to really get your message out and help people to understand what you're saying. We got here, oh, okay, I'm not sure who that is. Okay, yeah, any questions that you have, feel free to send some questions in, and I will answer your questions right here and help you get some questions answered about email marketing. Number 3, how do you decide on your brand narrative, your story, and the brand image? So you're targeting this audience, but if they hear from you and they get one look the first time, and you look like you have some information, but it's not very clear on what it is, then another time you have something else, and then another time you have something else, and then you got this blue thing and then this red thing. People don't know who you are. What is your brand? What are you representing? What is your story? If you look at howtowritepro.com, it's very clear. How to Write Pro. I'm helping you to write to sell professionally, productively, proactively, to profit more. So there's something there that helps to become the glue of what you're going to get and receive from me, whether it's this podcast, whether it's videos, whether it's emails, whether it's tweets. It's all the same narrative right here. I'm helping you write and sell professionally and make sales with your writing. So whatever you're trying to sell, that story needs to be continuous through the email campaign. So that's a big one that I do as well. Lesson 4, how to actually design the content in the emails effectively. So you want to make sure that when you're designing your emails, that you take the time to look at the HTML. Are you going to put your logo in there? Are you going to put pictures? Are you going to, create sections with bullet points? Are you going to create numbered sections? Are you going to make sure that everything is laid out and lined out appropriately? Because if you just send an all text email, that's not bad. It might pass through spam. But if it's not clear and it's just a bunch of text and there's no kind of definition to the email of what people are seeing, also they're seeing it on their phone, that's going to be very difficult as well. So that's important as well. Number 5, how are you going to set up your email service provider? A lot of people have Aweber, GetResponse, MailChimp, Infusionsoft in order to send automated emails to clients or prospects that have opted into a list. Well, there's one thing to sign up for a service like that. It's another thing to actually implement the service, to check off all the boxes, to make sure that your address is correct, to make sure that your name, to make sure that your thank you page and your subscription page are all correct. Do you know that you could be missing out on a lot of sales if you don't adjust your thank you page? You could use your thank you page to offer one-time offers or other products or services that you have. And if you miss that, that could just be money that's just floating away that would not cost you any more time, would not cost you any more expenses. So make sure that you understand how to set up your email service provider, and I've got that for you there as well. Number 6, how do you write the rough drafts of your emails? Okay, this is another topic I cover in the course. When you're writing emails, there's a certain format to how you introduce yourself in the email, how you write the subject line, build a little rapport, build value, kind of give some points of credibility and features and things like that, some benefits, and then tying it all up by calling the person or the audience to action. And so you have to be able to write the rough drafts of your emails in a way that is not too much, is not using language that's over the top of the heads of your audience, but also gives them a quick glimpse into what it is that you are trying to communicate. And the best way to do that is with a simple notepad, on your computer, or a Word document, where you just write one email at a time on one page, and you're able to construct that in such a way that you're not trying to fool around with it inside your email service provider, because it's a lot easier to edit and correct and clean up in a real document and then transfer it into your email service provider. That's how you want to build the email campaign. So you can build 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 emails in advance like this. So that's very important. Number 6. No, I think I got number 6. Okay, number 7. How to configure and design and install the email. So once you've set up everything and you've set up your email service provider, you've written your rough drafts, then what you want to do is you want to take the emails that are pre-existing and you want to copy and paste them successfully into your email service provider. There's a lot of things that could go wrong with this as well. The formatting could change slightly depending on your provider. You could have some spacing issues where it looks like there's a huge gap from here to here where you thought you had it single spaced. The HTML could be off and you could have some issues with that. So it's really important to, once you've written your copy and you're ready to install it into your email service provider, that you put it all there in such a way that you can check it and test it and everything. So the other thing is, when you're installing all that, you want to be ready to install things like social media icons, your signatures, because again, these are all things that will drive traffic back to you. When people sign up, they go to your email, they're reading your email, and at the bottom, that's one more likely person you could have on your Instagram or your Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. And when you do that, it just really gives you a clean, sharp, and professional look. All right, so number 7. Well, I just did number 7 as well. Anybody have any questions? No questions yet. All right. So number 8. Once you've written the emails and your emails are in your email service provider, okay, then the next thing that you want to do is you want to test the emails before you send the emails out, because there's a lot of things that could go wrong. Your subject lines. Do you have any Do you have any big all cap letters in your subject lines? Do you have some symbols in your subject line that will shoot your email directly to spam? And I'll give you a little secret as well. There are plenty of automated testers that you can use now online where you can take a subject line, you can put it in the tester and test it immediately and get a rating on how that subject line will do in real time in an email campaign. You also want to test for spam. I just recently did the campaign even for this course here, and I did a test and I was noticing that some of the emails were going into my spam box. It's important to check that out. Why were they going into my spam box? I think primarily is because I had a few words that I put in all caps and I didn't even realize it. So just that one little mistake could send your emails into spam where nobody even sees the emails that they signed up for. So you don't want that to happen. And also spell checking, grammar, all of the normal things that you would check for any document, making sure you've got clean copy. All right, number 9, how to properly activate your email campaigns and your follow-up series. So once you've tested everything, then the next step in this whole process is you want to make sure that you activate everything correctly so that when people sign into your opt-in list, everything is going to run like a well-oiled machine. That means you can go to the beach, you can go to sleep, you can go elsewhere, you can work on something else, and when people sign into your opt-in list, they will get your clean, delivered, pure messages right into their inbox. That's a great thing, and that's why we're doing this. That provides you the leverage. If you've done everything else up front, that's going to buy you a lot of time and should generate you a lot of sales and traffic as well. All right, number 10. Once you're doing that, once your emails are going out, once people are receiving your emails, your email list is starting to build, you want to be able to monitor, track, and adjust the email campaign to the process. And the best way to do that is just use the analytics that are there with the email campaign that you have with your email service provider, or you can use some analytics from Google that you can plug in. There's a lot of different ways that you can do that. So basically, that's it. Those are the 10 steps. And it's very easy to follow these steps. You can see it on my website under howtowritepro.com email course. And let me just go over a few things that the course includes. Again, you know, you're going to have a 100-point checklist, which is about 10 or so points roughly checklist on each phase of the email campaign to make sure you're covering everything. You know, want to make sure that you have the value with the leads, the strategies that you need, and also using the email service providers correctly. That's a very, very big critical issue. Increasing your deliverability and increasing your open rates, your click-through rates, and your sales. That's what it's all about. So once you're able to do that, I think that you'll find this to be very valuable. So I encourage you to sign up now for that, for the email course. And let's see if I have any more questions here. No more questions from anybody. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off now. I think we've been about 30 minutes. So this video here is going to be on YouTube. I'm going to continually do this podcast with different episodes, with different topics. Of course, howtowritepro.com isn't just about emails. It's about being proactive. It's about being an entrepreneur, being productive. It's about learning how to profit more and build value in the marketplace. So I have some interesting videos on mindset. I have interesting videos on branding. So be sure to check out the YouTube video. I'll have that in the description and the links and everything. I'll have it everywhere. I'm blasting everything right now, so you'll see it in everything. So check that all out. And until next time, this is Bayo with howtowritepro.com. Take care.